Hello there and welcome to another sunny summer dog walk, and today we're going to talk about the carrots of death. Okay, what we're going to be talking about is some of the plants in the carrot family, some of which are very, very tasty, some of which are not so tasty, some will kill you or at least maim you. So it's a good idea to know which is which. We're walking through cow parsley here. Cow parsley is fairly easy to identify. Has quite distinctive flowers, as you can see, with little 5-petaled mini flowers on the top there. It has these feathery sort of leaves here. Let's try and get a focus on some of them. And more importantly, the stems are green with occasional sort of purple bits. The only reason I mentioned occasional purple bits is because occasionally you will come across hemlock, which looks exactly the same pretty much. The flowers are slightly different, but the big difference is in the stem, because hemlock has blotchy purple stems. In other words, they're green stems but with quite distinct purple blotches on them. Don't eat hemlock. This is the frustrating thing with the carrot family. You know, this stuff, cow parsley, totally edible. The leaves, it's even known as wild chervil. They've got a parsley-like flavour and they're really nice. Hemlock will kill you, but they do look very similar. And that's why I always say to people, if you're not 100% sure, don't eat it. I did find a hemlock plant growing in these fields the other day, and I basically cut it down and stamped it into the ground before it had a chance to go to seed. I have a suspicion that might be another one growing here, but yeah, it is. I can see the purple blotches on the stems already. Can you see? Yeah, that's another hemlock. So I shall do my best to deal with this one now. I mean, the root's in the ground, so it will probably come up again, but at least I'm stopping it getting to the stage where it can go to flower and seed. Because this is a food crop, you really don't want hemlock growing in amongst a food crop, although there is another one over there. I'll probably actually just send a message to the farmer as I know him and let him know. Obviously, one of the things that happens when the combine harvester goes over the fields is that the seed is winnowed away from the rest of the plant, so that all that gets taken away is actually the barley grain that can be made into malt, you know, for making beer and whiskey and all that sort of thing. But the stalks are left behind and they're baled up and get turned into sort of big round hay bales, and I think that's used for winter feed. And I do wonder how much hemlock there would be bound up in those. Thankfully, it probably wouldn't be a lot. And I don't know how much hemlock it takes to kill a cow or a pig or a sheep. But it's an interesting thought, something I've not even thought about before. What are you rolling in, you horrible dog? Oi! Oh, what's this going to be? Come on, what are you rolling in? Better not be stinky or you're going to go in the bucket of shame when we get home. Yeah, you. It's always quite sad when the bluebells go over, although it's nice to see all the hawthorn flowers, isn't it, eh? It's always quite sad when the bluebells have all gone and they're all looking a bit grey, but you know, they have to come in fairly early, because once the trees get all of their foliage, they block all the light to the ground and the bluebells wouldn't stand a chance, so they have to get in early. But now they've had their time. The bluebells are all dying back, and now the bracken's coming in. Lots and lots of bracken. Look at this. I think I showed this in a previous video, how that was just all brown, this area. But now, nope, all this bracken's now starting to come up. So this whole area is going lush and green. Oh, this is quite pretty, isn't it? Look at that. Tiny little... They look almost like moths or butterflies. They're like tiny little flowers. Look a little bit like butterflies. And like helicopter type seeds. How gorgeous are they? It's a kind of maple, obviously, I can tell that from the leaf. Here's another member of the carrot family. This one here, that my sticks underneath. This is hogweed, not giant hogweed, which is horribly dangerous. Giant hogweed, the juice of it, the sap from it, if you get it on your hands, it causes blistering. And if your hands are ever exposed to sunlight, even years later, the blistering will come back. It's a horrible, horrible thing. So of course it's one of those control plants which if you see it you've got to tell the council about and they'll come and destroy it. But normal hogweed, no, it's perfectly all right. And in a little while it'll have those big white umbels of flowers, just like cow parsley and hemlock does. And if you catch the little umbels at the top, the flower buds, when they're just starting to come up, you can break them off and you can fry them up and you can cook them just like asparagus. They're quite tasty. There's some more over here. As you can see, the leaves are very different to cow parsley and hemlock. These are much bigger, more substantial leaves. They're not quite as feathery. So again, very difficult to mistake this for hemlock. And if this was giant hogweed, the leaves would be a lot spikier. Well, there you go. Another dog walk and some advice about the troublesome carrot family. And of course, reiterating the code of the forager, which is if you're not 100% sure of something, then don't eat it. Sometimes don't even pick it, unless you're absolutely sure you know what it is. I think that's a great rule for foraging and a great rule for life. If you're not sure whether something's safe or whether you're going to like it, don't put it in your mouth. See you next time.